They say the best things in life are free, but food costs money, so I'm not sure what to believe. Welcome to another weekly video where I'll be talking about the 3 most important things to master in your 20s, and you don't have to be in your 20s because mastering these things will elevate your life no matter at what age you are. So for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm FamiLei and we cover money and minimalism for millennials every single week, so be sure to subscribe. The first area to master is your personal finance. Now, if you're in your early 20s, you're probably about to leave the nest, maybe you're graduating college with debt and you have to juggle all these bills, where to live, debt, and just adult life in general. It's a lot to take care of, and truth be told, you probably feel fucked. Excuse my French. Personal finance is like many other self-development topics where you just have to take a hold of it, find an interest in it, and educate yourself, and at least understand the basics of personal finance. The most basic rule to follow personal finance if you want to increase your net worth and live a lavish and wealthy life is to spend less than what you earn. That's it, straight up. A lot of personal finance advisors, gurus, whatever, will constantly repeat this because in the end, people understand this, but they have to be reminded over and over again to implement into their lives. Way easier said than done. If you spend more than what you're making, then you're going into debt and basically going the opposite direction of where you want to be heading towards. A fantastic personal finance flowchart that tells you exactly what to be doing at each stage of your financial life can be found on Reddit. I'll go ahead and link it down in the description below. It's a great flowchart that tells you where you should be and like the next steps in your financial life, but it doesn't go into detail. For instance, it'll tell you to rack up all of your expenses and create a budget based on that, but it doesn't exactly tell you how to create a budget. Just to create a budget. There's the 50-30-20 rule where you allocate 50% of your after-tax income on essentials, what you basically need to survive and make money, and then 30% on the things you want, your leisurely activities, your hobbies, etc. And then 20% goes to savings. Now, this is actually, I would say, pretty low savings rate if you're trying to reach financial independence. And going forward, there's like many different ways of budgeting, different allocations. I personally prefer the anti-budget where you save exactly how much you want to save and then guiltlessly and lavishly spend the remainder of your money. There are many money guidelines out there, such as spending less than 30% of your take-home pay towards your rent every month. But in the end, these are just guidelines and you're gonna have to figure out what works for you and your lifestyle. Once you reach a good financial state where you're not worried about living paycheck to paycheck, but are actually starting to save money, you can look for different ways to grow your money and grow your income, such as rental properties or investing in the stock market. Something that you may already heard of if you're already in the working force are retirement accounts. And I know it can be hard looking and preparing for retirement that's like 30, 40 years down in the future, but a little saving now goes a long way in the future. So some retirement accounts that you can contribute is the 401k, TSP, or 403b, and these are tax deferred accounts where your money goes in tax-free and then eventually when you take it out, you pay taxes on that. There's also a Roth IRA, which you can contribute $6,000 every single year, and that's with after-tax money, so the money you make from your job, and then you put that in there, and eventually in the future, you take all of that money and earnings tax-free, which is massive. Damn, there's a lot that goes into personal finance, and it's actually so interesting. At least I think so. If you would like me to comment anything specifically on personal finance, please leave a comment down below and I will get to it. But let me end this personal finance thing on a very important mindset, and it's that you can afford anything, you just can't afford everything. Which brings us to our next important thing to master, values. I do talk a lot about minimalism on this channel, and for those of you who don't know, it's basically aligning yourself to your values. It's all about living a life that you want and not a life that your parents, society, or friends tell you to live. So let's just think about this. If I asked you what you valued, you're gonna start listing off things. But if you show me your bill statement and all the purchases you made, and then instead of you telling me, I told you what you valued based on those spending purchases, would what I say you valued make sense? The whole purpose about this channel is that I want people to consciously spend based on their values and things they actually care for, not just mindlessly throwing money here and there just to have a kick. People aren't rich because they have a lot of money. They're rich because of what that money can supposedly allow. To be able to spend the time and money towards your values. My biggest value is freedom, to be able to do what I want when I want. It's something I strive for every single day, and even got a tattoo that symbolizes it. I don't know if you can see this. My tattoo is also inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is the greatest show ever, and I will fight you on that. To be able to align yourself with what you value and appreciate is immensely powerful, especially at a young age. If you value wealth, go after that highest paying job, save a boatload, and pursue financial independence. If you value your family, your actions should reflect that. If you value your time, then make purchases and decisions based on that. For instance, instead of working that 50+ hour a week job, go ahead and quit and work a 40-hour job. Instead of working hours on your car doing your own car repairs, go take it in the shop and spend whatever money to have it fixed. Just make sure they're not ripping you off. If you don't want to waste half an hour driving to the city and then trying to find parking for another 10-20 minutes, then call an Uber or Lyft. There are many different ways for you to reclaim your life back, and it's kind of weird to say, but sometimes you just gotta make these purchases to buy back your time. Aligning your daily decisions is really just being authentic with yourself. The sooner you identify your real values, the sooner you can start living life on your own terms. They say wealthy people spend the first half of their lives attaining wealth, and then spend the second half of their lives pursuing health. Which brings us to our third area to master in your 20s, and that would be health. Do not make the mistake of neglecting your health in the present. A few simple changes will go a long way. Like skipping that donut because it'll cut away 5 years of your lifespan. Alright, it's not that drastic, and donuts are actually so good, it's understandable why people eat them. It's all about balancing short-term satisfaction with long-term health. There are many health problems that people are facing: obesity, anorexia, hypertension, or high blood pressure. And if you create a lifestyle that's generally healthy, you can avoid nearly all of these things. But that's the hard thing. You have to figure out what foods and exercise gets you excited, or at least motivated enough to do them. The important thing is that you gotta be able to stick to it. I have an entire video on a minimalist approach to eating that you can check out here. And once you get in a good state, once you're pretty happy about your body, it's way easier to maintain than to get to that state. Like, it's easier to maintain your current body than to lose weight or gain muscle. I mean, really all I do is just be conscious of what I'm eating, don't bring junk food into the house, eat an ample amount of protein and vegetables, and work out at least 3 times a week for a period of about 40 minutes each workout. That's it. Now, I'm not saying I have a rocking bod or anything, but it's in a condition that I'm content with. And health doesn't just apply to your physical condition, it also applies to your mental state. Make sure you take care of yourself mentally. If you're struggling, maybe meditation or going to see a therapist. And then also take those mental health days, aka just take sick leave, and replenish yourself, because that is very important. Because if you are in a horrible mental state, no matter how physically fit you are, you're not gonna feel good. Also, don't overlook stress because it has devastating effects on your body and mind. Take a mental health day from work, engage in physical activities, eat nutritional meals, and treat yourself once in a while. As I always say, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy food, and that's basically the same thing. While there are certainly other important things to master, these are my recommended top 3. Mastering these 3 things will greatly improve your financial and lifestyle decisions and will lead to a happier, healthy, value-aligned life. If you have any other areas you consider important, leave a comment down below and make sure you give this video a like. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.